Remember that older gentleman who complained that TikTok was just videos of young girls dancing in bikinis? The joke was on him. His feed looked like that because of how he used the app. In other words, TikTok learned his viewing habits and served him more of the same. His feed reflects his habits, not some universal truth. As crazy as it sounds, we live in an age where algorithms quietly curate most of what we see, and in doing so, they shape who we are without us even noticing. Today, roughly 90% of the content we consume is determined by algorithmic recommendations. YouTube's own chief acknowledged that about 70% of views come from personalized suggestions, and a significant chunk of what people buy on Amazon comes from customers also bought prompts. At this scale, algorithms have become inadvertent gatekeepers of our reality, subtly influencing our thoughts, feelings, and decisions. Here's the kicker. Every scroll, click, or pause is feeding these algorithms data about you. You think you're freely browsing, but each micro behavior is actually training your algorithm. Did you linger on a provocative headline? The system takes note. Did you swipe past without a second glance? Noted. These platforms analyze how you behave, not necessarily what you consciously want. And because human brains have a known negativity bias, one moment of doom scrolling can send your feed down a dark path. Social media algorithms have a tendency to nudge people toward more extreme or negative content over time. They're not biased toward happy and healthy content, as one analyst put it. Click a single sensational or angry post, and suddenly you're fed a steady diet of outrage and gloom. If it bleeds, it leads. We've all seen how a feed can spiral into a bad place, from conspiracy rabbit holes to anxiety-inducing doom and gloom. But here's the plot twist. The same hidden mechanics that can control your online experience can be hacked to improve your life. Instead of letting algorithms unknowingly drive us, we can flip the script and drive them. Think of the algorithm like a wild dragon, dangerous if left alone, but trainable with intentional effort. In this episode, we'll learn how to do exactly that. We'll explore building a future self embedding, a digital profile of the you that you want to become, and how to feed it to the AI. We'll talk about cleaning up your digital footprint so that every data point about you is working in your favor. We'll see how to intentionally train the algorithms around you to deliver content that builds better habits, advances your career, and supercharges your learning. In short, you'll discover how to turn AI from a mindless content firehose into your personal growth engine. I'm Dr. Dude. Let's abide and get in it. What exactly is an embedding in the AI sense? Simply put, it's the mathematical avatar of you that lives in an algorithm's brain. Tech platforms don't literally know you. They know a bunch of numbers that represent your interests and behaviors, called a user embedding. TikTok, for example, generates a mathematical representation of your digital identity based on your behavior. Every like, share, and rewatch feeds into your vector in their system. Importantly, it doesn't evaluate who you really are. It evaluates how you behave. This means the you that the AI interacts with is malleable. Change your behavior, and you literally change the data profile, the embedding that the AI uses to curate your feed. So why not present the algorithm with the future you, the person you aspire to be? Think of it as fake it till you make it, but with your digital habits. If you start behaving like future you, the algorithm will begin to treat you like that person by serving up content to match. For example, imagine future you is fit and health conscious. Today, your feeds might be full of, say, gaming videos and soda commercials. But if you intentionally start clicking on workout videos, healthy recipe reels, and fitness subreddits, over time, your user embedding shifts toward a health-focused profile. The AI notices, you've started engaging a lot with marathon training tips and salad recipes. Soon, it begins recommending more of those. Before you know it, your YouTube sidebar is filled with exercise routines and inspiring transformation stories. Your Instagram Explore tab is serving up healthy meal prep, and even the ads you see skew to running shoes and blenders. By feeding your aspirations into the algorithm, it will feed back the tools to help realize them. This isn't just anecdotal wisdom, there's science to back it up. A 2023 study showed that if recommendation algorithms cater to a person's ideal self, the things we wish we'd watch, rather than our short-term clicks, it makes users happier and more satisfied. In the experiment, people who got recommendations aligned with their ideal preferences, say that balanced, in-depth news they want to consume versus the clickbait they usually end up clicking, felt their time was better spent and felt the platform had their best interests at heart. They even became more willing to pay for the service. In other words, when the algorithm nudges you toward the person you want to be, everybody wins. You, because you feel more fulfilled, and even the platform, because you appreciate it more. So how do you build this future self embedding in practice? First, get crystal clear on the traits or skills you want to cultivate. Then, curate your digital diet around those things. Want to learn a new language? Start following polyglot YouTubers, join language forums, and like posts about language learning. Your digital you will start looking like an aspiring bilingual person, trying to become more creative or artistic, engage with art, design, and creativity content aggressively, and ignore or mute the usual gossip and memes. Over time, the algorithm will conclude this person loves art and respond accordingly. One tech commentator joked that if your feed is now surfacing 45-minute art history video essays and deep dives into urban planning, congratulations, you've trained your algorithm to believe you have an attention span. You're being rewarded with substance because you signaled you crave it 13. Similarly, if you skip the shallow clickbait and seek out quality, the AI will eventually get the hint and reward your depth with more depth. It may feel odd at first, almost like role-playing for an audience of one, an AI, but the results can be dramatic. People have literally transformed their online environments by doing this. The beauty is, it becomes a positive feedback loop. As your feed fills up with content that reflects your goals and values, it reinforces your resolve to keep going. It's easier to stay motivated about, say, coding practice when every day you're seeing cool programming projects, new tool announcements, and success stories of developers, courtesy of an algorithm that thinks this person lives and breathes code now. You've essentially created a digital echo chamber for your future self. And unlike the usual negative connotation of an echo chamber, this one is designed by you for your own growth. One caution: consistency is key. Algorithms are quick learners, but also quick to revert if your behavior flips back. If you binge positive content for a week and then relapse into old scrolling habits, your future self vector might drift back toward the old pattern. So stick with it. Think of training your algorithm like training a pet, or that dragon. Steady, repeated cues. And remember, the algorithm doesn't judge. It doesn't know the difference between good and bad for you. It only knows interest. It's up to you to make sure that what you show interest in aligns with what's actually good for you. Zooming out beyond social media feeds, let's talk about your digital footprint. This is the grand total of all the data you're dripping into cyberspace. The tweets and TikToks, yes, but also your Google searches, your Amazon purchase history, your Spotify playlists, your location data from your phone, and so on. It's the sum of everything you do online and with connected devices. Every piece of this footprint is a clue that algorithms and the people behind them can use to infer who you are. Individually, one data point doesn't say much. Liking a single tweet about gardening could mean anything, but aggregate thousands of these points and a detailed picture emerges. As one researcher put it, each little trace by itself isn't so revealing, but once you put them together, you can learn an awful lot about people's psychology. Your phone silently tracking your location, your credit card logging every purchase, and by extension, whether you go to bars or gyms, bookshops or fast food, your smart TV noting what you watch. Combined, these create an uncannily accurate profile of you. How accurate? Well, one study famously found that a computer analyzing just your Facebook likes could predict your personality traits better than your friends and family, and in some cases, even better than your spouse. Pause on that. An AI that's never met you, knowing nothing but a few hundred clicks of a like button, can gauge your openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, etc., more accurately than the people who grew up with you. That's the power of a rich digital footprint analyzed with machine learning. This may sound a bit Black Mirror, and it has a dark side when used without our consent, but for our purposes, realize that your footprint can be a powerful tool for you to leverage as well. It's like a resume that's being auto-generated about you all the time. In fact, employers and others are absolutely looking at it. As one career expert quipped, your digital trail is now the most comprehensive view of your professional story. Recruiters might read your tweets, check your LinkedIn posts, maybe see what kind of articles you share. The sum of that will form an impression. Your digital self is speaking for you before you even say a word. Unlike a paper resume, this online persona is alive and evolving with every comment or photo you publish. That might sound unsettling, but it's also empowering. You can actively shape this narrative. Altering your digital footprint for the better means being deliberate about what you put out there and what you engage with. Start by curating the content under your control. The profiles and bios, the public posts. Make sure they reflect the you that you want the world and the algorithms to see. Next, consider all those passive signals, the things you click, watch, or even just hover over. They're being tracked too. Are they aligning with the story you want told? If not, it's time to practice some algorithmic hygiene. The more you understand about your digital environment, the more control you will have over changing it, notes data scientist Sandra Matz. This means periodically stepping back and auditing your own footprint. Google yourself. What comes up? If an AI were to summarize you, and increasingly AIs do exactly that, pulling together your top content into a handy profile 19, would it paint the picture you want? Thankfully, you don't have to guess. Professional networking platforms and search engines want to surface the most relevant, credible version of you. For instance, LinkedIn's algorithm actively rewards profiles that are relevant, active, and credible. Every insightful post you share or thoughtful comment you leave adds to what one expert calls your expertise footprint. If you appear engaged and knowledgeable in your field, the algorithm will boost you to others, say, showing your posts to more people or suggesting your profile when recruiters hunt for talent. The algorithm aims to surface people who match what others need, an author of On Brand explains, meaning if you position yourself as that person through your content and interactions, the system will connect the dots. In practice, this could mean job opportunities or useful contacts start coming your way because you groomed your footprint to reflect your aspirations. So, concrete steps: clean up the old and inject the new. If there's embarrassing or off-message stuff lingering from your past, we all have that cringy forum account or decade-old post, consider deleting or burying it. It's not really gone, but at least it won't be loud. Simultaneously, put forward the good stuff. Showcase projects, write about topics you care about, share achievements, or even your learnings from failures. Authenticity scores points too. Modern AI tools can help present you in the best light. For example, there are features now that automatically compile your top online content when someone searches your name, trying to show the highlights and not the noise. Give them highlights to find. Think of it like SEO, but for you, you want the search results about you to reflect the image you intend. This might sound like personal branding 101, but in the context of AI-driven curation, it's personal branding on steroids. Every tag, every follow, every click is part of training an AI somewhere about who you are. Be mindful of that, and you can slowly steer that big, complex profile in a direction you're proud of. And it's not all about impressing others. When your digital environment, the articles, posts, and people you see daily online, is aligned with your goals, it reinforces your progress. It's much easier to stay enthused about, say, entrepreneurship if your feeds are full of startup tips and success stories rather than cat videos and celebrity gossip. You've heard, you are what you eat. In 2025 and beyond, you are what you click. If we take care of what we eat because it determines our physical health, we must also be mindful of what content we consume. As one observer wisely noted, your digital footprint diet is directly feeding your mind. So don't let it be an accident, curate it. All right, we've talked about the high-level concept of shaping your profile. Now let's get tactical about training your algorithms in specific areas of life. It's time to put the theory into practice and make these platforms work for you, not against you. You can teach the AIs around you to become mentors and coaches of sorts, simply by being intentional with your clicks and taps. Let's break it down into a few key domains. Better habits and wellness. One of the most impactful things you can do is train your feeds to promote healthy habits instead of bad ones. For many of us, the default social media experience can encourage procrastination, late-night doom scrolling, and anxiety spirals. We want to turn that on its head so that your digital life nudges you toward positive habits, whether that's exercising more, sleeping better, or practicing mindfulness. Start by doing an audit of your social feeds. Are they full of things that make you feel crappy or things that inspire you? Be honest. If it's the former, it's time for some serious algorithm hygiene. Step 1. Stop doom scrolling. This is non-negotiable. Doom scrolling, mindlessly consuming an endless stream of negative news or posts, is toxic for you, and it sends all the wrong signals to the algorithm. Every second you linger on that outrage bait post or sensational headline, the system learns, oh, you like this, here's more. As one source put it bluntly, if you bite on the clickbait of gloom and doom, it'll never stop feeding it to you. 23. So cut it off at the source. The moment you catch yourself scrolling something purely out of morbid curiosity or anger, stop. That's you taking back control. Next, decide what you want to see. It sounds obvious, but many of us have never explicitly done this. Take a minute. What kind of content leaves you feeling motivated, educated, or uplifted? Maybe it's fitness and self-care. Maybe it's art and creativity. Maybe it's wholesome news. Maybe it's spiritual or philosophical musings. Define your positive diet and then actively seek it out. Use the search bar. Find accounts/pages devoted to those topics and follow or subscribe. You are effectively seeding your feed with the kind of influences you want in your life. Want to build a habit of daily meditation? Go follow some meditation teachers or apps. Like and save a few calming guided meditation videos. Within days, YouTube and Instagram will start suggesting more. Interested in running? Subscribe to a couple of running vloggers or a Couch to 5K community group. Soon those motivational running posts will be popping up at 6 a.m. to prod you out of bed. Equally important is weeding out the bad influences. On almost every platform, you have tools to tell the algorithm, no thanks. Use them liberally. When that video or post appears that is not aligned with the habits you want, the one that makes you feel icky or wastes your time or triggers unhealthy urges, hit the not interested or hide button. Yes, that little X or thumbs down icon actually does something. It's a negative feedback signal to the AI. You're basically saying bad dog to the algorithm for bringing you that content. Over time, this is incredibly effective at pruning away content that undermines your goals. Social media algorithms do learn from these corrections. You can also unfollow or mute accounts that consistently spam you with things that derail you. Don't worry about offending anyone. Your peace of mind is more important. As one digital wellness advocate advises, train your algorithm like you'd train a dragon, with intentionality and both positive and corrective feedback. Reward it with likes, clicks, time spent when it shows you something that aligns with your desired habits, and punish it with hides, skips when it shows junk. Over time, your algorithm behaves. Consider also the environmental design of your digital life. Are you scrolling endlessly at night in bed? Maybe set some external limits, apps that remind you or even force you to stop after X minutes. The algorithms won't do that for you. Their goal is to keep you hooked. So sometimes you have to outsmart them with your own tools or routines. Another pro tip, replace passive scrolling with active engagement. If you passively scroll, the algorithm takes over and can drag you anywhere. If you proactively decide, I'm going to find a healthy recipe to cook tomorrow and search for it, you've guided the session. Do this often. Intentionally start an interaction by searching or going to a positive account, and you'll notice the algorithm's starting point for suggestions will shift toward those things. You're effectively resetting the default over time. The key is consistency and mindfulness. One digital wellness writer compared it to regular hygiene. You don't just brush your teeth once, you do it daily. Similarly, good algorithm hygiene is daily, not one and done. Make a habit of regularly curating your feed. Follow new inspiring voices, unfollow what no longer serves you, give feedback on content frequently. If you do slip and binge some trashy content, we're all human. Don't beat yourself up. Just course correct by seeding a bunch of positive content right after to dilute that signal. Think of it like eating a piece of cake. Fine, but then maybe have a salad next. By training your algorithms to support your better habits, you essentially create a digital environment that nudges you in the right direction. Your social feeds and even recommendation lists become like a friendly coach, subtly reminding you about that yoga routine, suggesting a new book instead of the 10th cat video, and generally making the healthy choice the more enticing one. It's not foolproof, and you still have to do the actual work. The app won't do your push-ups. But it's a lot easier to build good habits when everywhere you click, the choice architecture has been rigged in your favor. Better career advice and opportunities. Now let's talk career and professional growth. Believe it or not, the same principles apply. You can train professional networks and even search algorithms to serve you content that advances your career and connects you with the right people. In the old days, you'd work on your resume or portfolio, and that was that. Now you also have to work on your digital presence and signals, because hiring managers, collaborators, and the algorithms that connect them to you are all listening to those signals. First, optimize how you appear to algorithms that matter in the professional realm. The big one here is LinkedIn and maybe GitHub or other field-specific networks if you're in tech creative fields. LinkedIn's feed and search algorithms can significantly boost your visibility if you play to them. How? By being active and relevant. If you regularly share insights or useful articles about your industry and engage in conversations, comments, posts in a meaningful way, the platform starts to treat you as a subject matter expert. In fact, LinkedIn has stated that its algorithm gives more weight to people they consider experts, those who post about a topic consistently and get decent engagement. Content that invites genuine interaction, comments discussion, boosts how the algorithm sees you, notes one branding expert. So, to train LinkedIn's algorithm, post and engage with intent. Instead of passively scrolling, put out a short post about a project you completed or an insight you had at work. Share an article that you found enlightening and add your 2 cents. Congratulate someone on their achievement or weigh in positively on a discussion in your field. Each of these actions is feeding the career AI data. It says, this person is active in this domain. Over time, the platform will start connecting the dots, showing your profile to recruiters who search for those skills, suggesting more relevant content to you, like industry news, job openings, and even recommending you as someone to connect with to others in your field. Another facet, train the algorithm to give you good career content. Follow companies you're interested in, so you'll see their updates and possibly openings. Subscribe to influencers or thought leaders in your domain. Their posts can be gold mines of advice. If you interact, like, or comment on, say, a CEO's insightful post about the future of your industry, the algorithm takes note that you're interested in that domain and that level of content. It may then show you more of the same or surface other experts' writing. Also, make use of platforms like Medium or professional forums, even the almighty Google, by clicking results that are genuinely helpful for your career questions. It sounds odd, but if you search Google for best courses to learn UX design and actually click and dwell on a result that's a great resource, Google's own algorithms may ever so slightly tune to show you more quality educational content over, say, low-value spam. Google's algorithms are incredibly complex, but they do personalize to an extent based on what you seem to find valuable. An important part of career growth is networking. Here too, an algorithm can quietly assist once it knows what you're about. If you train your professional profiles to reflect your dream trajectory, you might start getting algorithmic suggestions to connect with people who can help. For instance, if you suddenly transition your online presence toward data science, posting about it, sharing projects, you may notice LinkedIn suggests more data scientists in the people you may know, or shows you more events in groups related to that field. This is the algorithm's way of saying people like you, or who you're trying to become, often know these people or attend these events. Take those hints. It can lead to real human connections that propel you forward. To summarize, curate your professional algorithm the way a marketer would run an ad campaign. Identify the keywords, skills, industries you want to be associated with and engage accordingly. One personal branding coach noted that it's not about quantity of posts, but coherence. Connect the dots between a clear profile, credible mentions, and valuable content that reinforces your authority. In practice, that means make sure your bio and about sections include the key themes so the algorithm's text mining knows who you are, and then reinforce that by actually talking about those themes. Over time, you're effectively search engine optimizing yourself in the eyes of AI that match talent to opportunity. Better learning and personal growth content. Lifelong learning is an area where algorithms, when properly trained, truly shine. Imagine having a personalized tutor who knows exactly what you know and what you're ready to learn next. That's the direction AI-driven learning platforms are heading. But even on everyday platforms like YouTube, you can harness recommendations to become a kind of personalized curriculum for you. To do this, start by signaling your intellectual curiosity. Subscribe to channels or podcasts that consistently deliver educational content. This could be anything from history and science explainers to coding tutorials to DIY craft lessons. Whatever skills or knowledge you want to acquire, when you watch actively. Don't click away halfway through the good stuff, or the algorithm might think you didn't enjoy it. If you find a 30-minute lecture or tutorial that really interests you, watch it to the end, maybe even re-watch parts. These are strong signals that this was valuable. And guess what? You'll start getting more recommendations in that vein. If your YouTube account has mostly comedy skits in its history, and you suddenly binge a series of art of photography videos and give thumbs ups, pretty soon you'll see your homepage transform into a mini photography course lineup. People have reported that once they committed to using, for example, YouTube for learning only, the platform adapted. Instead of random trending nonsense, they began seeing suggested videos like Understanding Calculus Part 5 or Deep Dive into Neural Networks, videos that require focus and deliver knowledge. It's as if the algorithm says, okay, you're not here to waste time, here's some brain fuel. One author humorously noted that if your feed regularly serves you long, information-packed content, like hour-long video essays on urban planning, it's because you've trained your algorithm to believe you have an attention span, and it's rewarding you for it with meatier content. That's a great place to be. It means the AI is now functioning as a curator for learning, not just entertainment. You should also take advantage of dedicated learning platforms that use AI. Apps for language learning, for instance, use algorithms to personalize your lesson reviews. If you consistently mess up grammar, it gives you more of those exercises. That's an algorithm responding to your behavior. Even recommendation sections on sites like Coursera or Khan Academy will suggest courses or videos based on what you've already completed. The more you engage, the smarter those suggestions get. It's the same principle. Engage with the content that aligns with your learning goals and don't waste too much time on off-topic stuff on that same platform so the recommendations stay on track. A clever strategy is to maintain separate contexts if you have diverse interests. For instance, maybe you use one YouTube account or profile strictly for educational content and another for light entertainment. That way, the algorithm for the learning account is pure. It won't get confused if one day you watch 10 cat videos, because you'll do that on the other account. This is like having different embeddings for different roles you play. It might be overkill for most, but it's an option if you find it hard to keep the algorithm focused because, hey, we all indulge in junk content sometimes. One more tip. Feed the algorithm feedback on learning content quality. Many platforms let you thumbs up, down recommendations. If something was really useful, like an article that explained a tough concept clearly, give it a positive rating if possible, or spend more time on it. Dwell time is a reward to the algorithm. If you get suggested a piece of content that was off base or too elementary, feel free to skip or downvote it. The system will learn what level you're at and what style of learning you prefer, visual, auditory, fast-paced, etc., depending on what you engage with most. The goal here is that over months and years, you've essentially cultivated an AI learning companion that knows your strengths, weaknesses, and interests, and continuously pushes you just a bit further. It might introduce you to new topics that complement what you know. Ever had YouTube suggest a video that was tangential to your field, but ends up broadening your perspective? Those can be gems. The best part is the serendipity. A well-trained algorithm will still surprise you, but with things that are usefully surprising. You might stumble on a new skill or passion because the AI noticed people who follow a path similar to yours also eventually explore X topic, and now it's showing you X. In a way, you get the benefit of collective learning. The algorithm has embedded not just you, but patterns of millions of learners and can say, hey, others like you found this interesting. Give it a try. By intentionally tuning your learning feeds, you transform the algorithm into a 24/7 tutor who is always curating the next lesson, often without you even realizing it. You'll catch yourself saying, that's exactly what I needed to learn next. Not magic, just a well-fed AI doing its job. When you put all these pieces together, a clear future self profile, a curated footprint, and intentionally trained algorithms across your life, you get something truly powerful. Your AI assistants, whether it's Facebook's feed, YouTube's suggestions, LinkedIn's network, or even Netflix's recommended documentaries start to form a kind of personalized growth engine around you. Instead of fragmenting your attention or dragging you into ruts, they become like a digital support team, continually analyzing where you're at and what you might need next, and delivering it, often in shiny, entertaining packages. But hey, you'll take it. Think about it. You've essentially embedded your goals into the AI. It's not just you trying to improve you. You've got machine learning working on the problem too. And these machines are tireless and incredibly savvy at pattern recognition. They notice when your engagement with morning workout videos drops off. Maybe they'll toss in a particularly viral, exciting one to rekindle your interest. They sense when you've mastered the beginner tutorials and are starting to get bored. They'll surface an intermediate challenge to keep you progressing. In a sense, the AI is doing what a great mentor or coach would, observing, adjusting, and pushing you at the right times. One great outcome of this is consistency through automation. Humans are fickle. One day we're all about learning guitar, the next week we've forgotten about it. But if you train your Spotify and YouTube to flood you with guitar content, even if you slack, you'll be constantly reminded and gently nudged to pick it back up. It's Tuesday evening and you're mindlessly opening YouTube. Boom, recommended guitar lesson on your home screen. Oh right, I was learning that riff. Maybe I'll watch. That's the growth engine quietly at work, keeping you on track. By now you might be thinking, this sounds like I'm living in a carefully engineered bubble of self-improvement content. Is that really good? It's true that there's a balance to be struck. You don't want to end up in a hyper-specialized bubble where you only see things that confirm your goals and never anything outside. Diversity of input is still important for creativity and avoiding tunnel vision. But remember, you hold the controls. You can always intentionally mix things up once in a while. Throw a wildcard interest into the mix to keep the algorithm on its toes. In fact, once you've achieved a baseline of positive, you might schedule some randomness, e.g., watch something totally outside your usual sphere occasionally, just to prevent stagnation. The algorithms will adjust if you tell them to. They're your tools. Overall though, most people err far on the side of being too passive with algorithms rather than being too curated. Taking the reins, as we've discussed, is about restoring your agency. As one writer described, practicing algorithm hygiene is really about taking back the reins of your mental environment and consciously deciding what you want to nurture. You're deciding, I want to nurture these qualities in myself, and then enlisting some of the most powerful information systems ever built to help you do it. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Let's also acknowledge the dramatic shift in mindset here. We often hear about how we are training AIs with our data, but in truth, the AIs train us too. Every day, shaping our habits and views by what they show us. What we're doing is making that a deliberate training for good. It's a partnership, you and the algorithm in a feedback loop, but you've seeded it with positive objectives. At its best, it feels like flow. You're steering your life, and the digital world is flowing with you, not against you. As you implement these changes, you might notice something almost spooky. The algorithm starts to know the new you extremely well. In fact, recall how the data can know you better than friends. That can now work in your favor. Your tuned algorithm might alert you to opportunities or ideas that even you wouldn't have thought of, but that align with your growth. It's like having an assistant who's always watching out for, hey, this might help you level up. For example, you've been diligently learning Spanish and casually researching trips. One day your feed suggests an affordable immersion program or a local language exchange meetup. How did it know? Because all those signals you set up screamed, I'm into this, bring me more. Sometimes these feel like serendipity or luck, but they are the output of your personal growth engine doing its thing. One could argue philosophically about relying on AI for self-improvement, but remember, you designed the system. You set the North Star. The AI just handles some of the heavy lifting in keeping you aligned and exposing you to relevant inputs. Used well, it's less of a crutch and more of a catalyst. We should also talk about emotional and mental well-being here. A well-trained algorithm can be part of that support system too. Imagine an AI that's noticed you tend to get anxious on Sunday nights. You often watch stress relief or late-night work rant videos then. Perhaps it starts suggesting a calming podcast or a gentle reminder video about work-life balance around Sunday afternoon. This isn't far-fetched. Recommendation systems could incorporate well-being if that's what you reward. If you click those and actually find comfort, you've reinforced that loop. Over time, you might inadvertently train an algorithm to act almost like a guardian, detecting your mood shifts via your content choices and adapting. It's a bit speculative, but not impossible given enough data about your routines. In short, by taking charge of your embeddings, the digital fingerprints of your identity and preferences, you effectively turn AI into a personal coach, curator, and catalyst for growth. You're no longer just a consumer of whatever the algorithm throws at you. You've become the co-creator of your digital experience. This is a dramatic shift from being controlled to being in control, and it can be both educational and a lot of fun. It's like a game where the high score is a better life. Now, before we wrap up, it's worth noting, this is an ongoing process. There's no finish line where you say, all right, my algorithm is fully trained, time to hit cruise control. The digital world and you yourself are always changing. So think of this as a lifelong dance with AI. As your goals evolve, you'll recalibrate your inputs, and as technology evolves, new ways to tailor it will emerge. Stay curious and keep experimenting with how you and the algorithms interact. And that brings us to a tantalizing thought to carry forward. We've focused on personal embeddings, how AI models represent you and your interests. But zoom out. What happens as AI gets better and better at creating embeddings of, well, everything? Every person, every object, every moment in time, all translated into that language of vectors and patterns. It might sound like sci-fi, but we're heading there. AI systems are increasingly multimodal. They can understand text, images, audio, even video and sensory data altogether. They're building a rich, embedded representation of the world. So in the next episode, we're going to tackle the big questions. What does it mean for us when literally everything, everyone we know, every place we go, everything we interact with could be part of an AI's model? If you think today's algorithms are powerful, imagine a future where your whole life is cross-referenced and embedded with everyone else's and everything else. Will we unlock an era of even more personalized, almost telepathic technology that anticipates our needs before we know them? Or are we looking at a Matrix-like scenario where the lines of reality blur as AI's understanding of the world blankets every aspect of our lives? The possibilities are as thrilling as they are daunting. In our next episode, we'll dive into this future. We'll discuss the implications of AI embedding everything, the opportunities, the risks, and the mind-bending concepts that arise when AI forms a neural map of all it touches. Stay tuned. The conversation is about to get even deeper. The world of embeddings might soon extend far beyond your music playlist or video feed. It could encompass entire cities, societies, and more. How will that change our lives? Join us next time to find out. See you then. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe, give the video a like, and tell me in the comments which moment made your brain go, whoa, this video really tied the room together. I'm Dr. Dude. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in the next one.